Just getting started here at the Blue Lake Trailhead on a beautiful North Cascades spring day. 73 degrees according to my car at the trailhead. It is warm. Last trail reports I read said the parking lot was not open. It is definitely open. A little bit of snow right here, right at the start of the trail. Know we'll only get more as we head up. It sounds like I can do this with microspikes, but just for fun, I brought crampons and snowshoes just to be prepared because, hey, early season, extra weight, good for training. Right from the start, we've got snow. I haven't put gaiters on. I'm hiking in shorts, so I wanted to hold off. But may pause here right away and put them on. Passed a few groups coming down. Nice folks. Just ran into a couple from Asturias in España. It was fun to switch over and speak some Espanol. I had lived and studied in Barcelona back in the day, so always nice. I don't get to use my Spanish very much, so fun to do it out here on the trail. Beautiful day, snow, fairly well packed. I'm just boot and packing this. I have broken through a couple times, mini post holes, so gonna watch that as we get higher up on the trail. Pretty flowers breaking out along the way here. Over to my left, looking across to the north. Climbers Trail up to Liberty Bell. We will stick on the trail for Blue Lake. Loving all this running water. Such a great sound. And these views. Not too shabby. We are getting close to the lake. Not there yet, but home stretch. This part of the trail can be fun. It's not covered in snow. And it's a little slick because it's been in the shade here. A little more dicey. outlet from the lake, flowing fast. Be fun to cross. How's that for a view? Not a bad destination. Ain't she a beaut? Hello there, friends. We have made it to Blue Lake. Although, I'd say it's more of a white than a blue. White with a blue tinge at the moment, but melting out. Fun hike getting up here. I am the only one here. I don't know if the couple behind me is still coming up, but it's nice to just sit here. It's not silent because there's running water, which is just a great sound, and have birds singing. A few of them wanting me to give them food, which I will not do. But great day to get up here. Glad I was able to get on the road a little bit earlier. Had a job interview that got moved to Tuesday next week. So if you're watching this, please cross your fingers and save some prayers for a good job interview. And in the meantime, I get to be here in North Cascades. Also, if you haven't already, would you mind hitting that subscribe button? And if you want to give it a thumbs up, if you're enjoying it, give me some comments. Let me know what you like and what you'd like to see more of and what you'd like to see less of. Thank you, as always, for following along and joining me on a hike, especially if you made it this far into the video, and hope to see you on future adventures. Happy trails. Just past the junction with the Liberty Bell Climbers Trail. My watch says it's about half a mile from here to the rock where I sat down and had snacks and enjoyed the view. Great peekaboo views through the trees. We have done 1 mile, 34 minutes coming down. Things are getting a lot faster now that I'm back on reliable trail, although intermittent snow, but at times trail that's just dry dirt as well. About a mile to go. Appears that the trail is the stream. Feels very meta saying that. I have nice wet boots. Waterproofing did not seem to stick on them. Thankfully, wearing darn tough wool socks. It's a warm day, so my feet are perfectly happy. Lost the trail down here for a little bit, but I'm so close to the road that I knew I just needed to bear a little left and I would get back on it. Alrighty, Trailhead is in sight. Let's see, so at this point, crossing the bridge from Snack Rock, 2.34 miles one way and 1,050 feet of elevation. No surprise, very enjoyable hike. Just walking back to the car. Trail was doable in bare boots, so I carried microspikes, crampons, and snowshoes up. Didn't need them. Did not use my gaiters, although there are a few times when I post-holed where I wished I'd had them. But all told, very satisfied with the hike. Legs are tired from walking in the snow. Back to the car. Wet socks and boots are off. Heater's going. Flip-flops are on. It is 10 till 7, so I'm going to get to Washington Pass, cook dinner there, and then figure out the campsite situation. I'm hungry, and I have New York steak for dinner. Yum. So they have just opened the gate here in the last day or two, I believe. Excited to drive in. This is one of those little treasures that I've driven by so many times. And now that I know what is here, including restrooms, I will stop more often. All right, steak is on. Let that cook. You can tell I'm hungry because I set up right here next to the car. And there's a beautiful picnic table I could have used right over there. Dinner's cooking. I am out of my sweaty clothes. It is a beautiful evening here in the North Cascades. I think it should be a good sunset, although that is a ways off. So I'm going to sit here, hydrate, and maybe take some photos and drone footage. Yum. That hits the spot. Normally I would not chew with my mouth full. Or I would definitely chew with my mouth full. I wouldn't speak with my mouth full on camera. But I have to tell you that it is a tasty steak after today's hike. All right, leaving the parking lot, walking the Overlook Trail here. It's not far, maybe 100 meters or so. It's my guesstimate. It's paved. Would be accessible for anyone with a walker or wheelchair. Pretty darn flat, although some uphill. Lots of people, all in good moods, walking out to it or coming back. My favorite quote is someone got out of a car and turned around and they said, "Shoot," although that's not what they actually said, but "Shoot, there's another mountain over there," which made me smile. There's mountains all over. Trail loops around to some more viewpoints, different perspectives. The air smells so good, it's still nice and warm. I'm in short sleeves and shorts, but you can smell the firs, and it smells like the start of summer. Unfortunately, that also means that the flies and the mosquitoes are out. I think I got my first mosquito bite of this season. Ooh, going up those few steps reminded me that I had just gone up to Blue Lake. My legs are not protesting, but making it known they would like a rest. That might inform what I do tomorrow. Of course, I'm also in flip-flops. And then the path loops back around and down to the parking lot. Good little stretch of the legs. I'd actually never done this upper portion of the loop. Perfect night to do it. Just so calm and peaceful up here. Perfect temperature. Life is really good right now. Thankful to get out here. Done here at Washington Pass, 7:44. I'm gonna head down the road, check and see if early winter or lone fir campground are open. I wouldn't mind having an actual campsite with a fairly level place to park tonight. And I think my plan is to sleep in tomorrow. We'll see how late I sleep. I had dreams of getting up super early and getting up Heather Maple Pass loop. But we're just going to take it easy and see what the old legs are thinking in the morning. Also, there's eggs and bacon to make in the morning. I've successfully found a campsite here at Klipchuck Campground. First one or two I passed, the gates were closed, so really happy to get here. A number of open spaces, although pretty full, which doesn't surprise me. It's Friday evening on a beautiful weekend. And I'm pretty tired, so I'm not going to hang out too long. I think I'm going to call it a night pretty quickly. But more adventures await tomorrow. Today's been a good one. Tomorrow's going to be another good one. Happy trails, friends, and good night. Good morning, friends, from the Bridge Creek Trailhead. So much for my idea of sleeping in this morning. I woke up about 4:40, tried to go back asleep. Did not work. The birds were chirping up a symphony, and cars were leaving, so about 5 a.m. I decided to get up. Went up to the Heather Maple Pass Loop Trailhead. It is snowed in, not a lot of places to park. I thought maybe I'd be able to get a picnic table there and cook breakfast. So I turned around, came back down here. Now I've got bacon on, and we'll make bacon and eggs before heading up. It's about 41 degrees, a little chilly. Actually a nice change versus the heat of yesterday. Cheers, friends. Coffee has been made. Bacon is starting to smell good. Beautiful, beautiful morning. You're going to get lots of beautifuls from me on this trip. But birds are chirping away. It is nice, crisp, and fresh air. A little bit of snow here in the parking lot. It's going to be a good hike. The boot got a little piece of bacon here. Have to taste test this. Yeah. Bacony goodness. Heading into the trailhead from the road. I'll admit I am dragging a little bit this morning, so we'll see how far I end up going. Maybe just up to Lake Ann, or maybe all the way. Should be another great day in the North Cascades, whatever we end up doing. Approaching the trailhead here, you can see that the clear pavement ends before you get into the picnic area. Looks like we're going to be on snow from the start. Just called an audible, was starting up for Heather Maple Pass loop. Legs were not having it, and I decided, since I've put them through the ringer this week, I would turn around. Gonna take today as a rest day. After calling it on the hike, I decided to head down towards Mazama in Winthrop to enjoy a rest day by the river. I had good friends who were coming over and were planning to camp up towards Harts Pass and had invited me to join them that evening. Heading back down, I saw a movement over to the right in some rocks and realized there was a family of marmots. I put the drone in the air and flew back to check them out, and then walked back with my camera and telephoto lens and got what I think are some pretty fun pictures. They were pretty entertaining. Continuing down, there were a number of waterfalls that I had spotted while driving back and forth along Highway 20 over the years, and many of them were rushing torrents. So again, decided to check them out a little bit closer, put the drone up, and enjoyed the views from the air.
Next, I headed into Winthrop and went to the Rocking Horse Bakery for coffee and a morning pastry. They also gave me a great recommendation on where I could put a chair by the river and sit and read and just enjoy the sounds in a nice warm day. From there, I headed up Harts Pass. This time around, I didn't film going up, but it is one of my favorite roads ever to drive. Here's some footage from previous years going up. It's an old mining road, and while most of the time it feels pretty reliable, there's a section where it's completely blasted out of the hillside. There was a landslide that closed it a few years back, and they've had heavy equipment up there to improve it. This is the best it's been for a while, but you can start to see some of the rockfall coming down. Then I made it up to the campsite, found my friends, and we had a wonderful time up there cooking dinner and hanging out. The next morning, I was up pretty early, as was my friend Patrick, so we jumped in the car and drove up to where the road finally was closed due to snow, right at the campground at Harts Pass. Both of us had our drones and cameras and got some beautiful morning shots of the snowy landscape as the clouds and fog parted. It had gotten cold the night before, and there was a new dusting of snow up on some of the peaks that had not been there the day before. Having captured our morning shots and snowy mountain footage, and with our hands getting a bit cold, we headed back down to camp, where the rest of the crew cooked breakfast, and I took off down to the Mazama store where I got a coffee and a pastry, before heading back over Highway 20 through the North Cascades and hopping on Interstate 5 back to Seattle. All told, it was a wonderful weekend of hiking, chill time, and time with friends. Thank you all for joining me, and look forward to seeing you on future adventures. Happy trails.